Welcome back to another video. It is pretty cold outside right now. It's around noon. During the nights it drops down to below 20, so it is very, very cold. As you can see, I'll give you guys a little lay of the land in a bit. But there is barely any more snow. We had some crazy high-speed winds and a lot of rain, which is pretty weird in Canada for mid-December. But now the temperatures are dropping and they are announcing some snow in the forecast, so maybe we'll have some snow in the next video, but we'll see how it goes. The fire's already running on the inside. It's still pretty cold. It's around -10 right now, but I'm okay with, I have a sweater and a jacket on, so I'll be fine. And I need to go chop up some kindling because I use it up pretty fast to start the fire. I don't like messing around with a lot of paper and trying to really scavenge afterwards for paper or newspapers. So I try to use a few sheets of paper and a whole lot of kindling. It's a lot easier for me to chop up some thin slices of wood than it is to go scavenge for newspaper around town all the time. So yeah, today is going to be a little firewood processing day and mostly kindling. So let's get started. This is what I meant about the snow. There is not much left. See, that's my trail over there. And there's barely anything left at all. So high winds and a lot of rain, and it just washed up everything. I'll start off with these little pieces of pine here. I think this is some white pine. And this is just, I don't know, some other thing. Spruce, actually, maybe. That's what I built the cabin out of. I try to make the kindling as dry as possible. Even if it's a little wet, it doesn't matter, just because it's so thin. It should ignite easily. But this wood right here is very, very dry. Take a seat on this nice little boulder here. But I just wanted to say a few words about my axe because I'm getting some mixed comments pretty much in every video that I make with this axe. I'm mostly splitting wood or chopping branches, but mostly comments come from splitting wood. So this is a double bit axe. And the mixed comments come about people that say, I love the axe, these things work really nice, they're multi-purpose. And some people say, well, you can't split wood with an axe like that, you need a splitting maul, or in other words, a splitting axe. These things are actually, like I just said, multi-purpose. This side of the axe, I don't know if you guys could see it, camera probably won't focus, but the smaller bit right here, so the cutting edge, has a way more pronounced wedge shape, and this model specifically, I don't know what brand it is, I couldn't tell you guys. It's a lot shorter, so it is a lot like a splitting wedge. But what's great about these, and why, well, back in the day, not so much these days, the Forestry Service really like these, is because this side over here, this you could say is the rough or splitting side. This side here is a lot longer, tapers down a lot narrower down the bit, so you could get this at a much finer edge. So let's say for debranching a tree, I guess you could say hewing a log really quickly, or even just doing some finer work like I do, split kindling. This one here, you could use it to split wood. Obviously not huge logs because this thing isn't super heavy, but split wood like my logs are fine, 5-6 inches in diameter. The drier the better. But also, since it is a wedge shape, it holds an edge a whole lot better, and that also makes it a whole lot more durable. So if you have, let's say, roots in the dirt, you're not going to take the well sharpened finer side, you'll take the thicker, more brute side of the axe. So that's just my little 2 cents. So people that are wondering why I use a double bit axe, it's for that reason. It's multi-purpose, and I also think I got it at like a flea market for very cheap, so that's why I use it. I would also love to do, maybe in the spring, or I don't really know when, just some tidying up around the cabin, like getting myself a better splitting block, really raking it up to make it all leveled everywhere. Make a nice log pile, so if I want to build stuff, I have logs ready to go. Just simple things, but it has to be done. Also, it isn't the best scenario to be splitting wood right here. Maybe if my splitting block would be more over there. I don't want to nick my roof at all, so I just really got to be careful. So I don't really do large swings. It's a real pain in the ass to always find like the balance point between the splitting block and the firewood you're trying to split. So for this little piece, I'll use the finer side of the axe like I just said. Not a lot of force at all. Splits it. No problem at all. Try to do this properly. So the piece is too thin, so you kind of just lay it down on its side. And since this is dry softwood, it is pretty grainy, but I could still, with one shot, split it down the middle. So that's a good way of not trying to hold the piece and chopping your fingers off. Yeah, very nice little kindling. If you want to be more precise, you could just take the axe, wedge it in there, and gently tap it in. Get finer pieces. That's pretty much how I make all my kindling. I'll call that one good. And then for this little piece here, little very dry, small piece, don't need much force at all. Make some very nice kindling. But one thing nice about my fireplace is that it's very long. It's not wide at all, but what it lacks in length, it or I should say for what it lacks in width or girth, it makes it up in length. So that's what she said. But yeah, I could really stack in some long logs. I've put some easy 20-inch logs in there, no problem, and it'll take it just fine. Yeah, nice little thin pieces of wood, exactly how I wanted. There you go. Now to bring all these little things inside. I actually have these pieces of wood here that I don't know where they came from, but I believe they're poplar. So I'll they're frozen to the ground. I'll try to get these split and burnt. I really don't like poplar, but I try to get this poplar split. It's pretty still pretty humid, but I try to get it split here. Like I was saying, I don't really like poplar just because I find it will get punky and or rot out completely before it actually dries up. So it's just not really my favorite kind of wood. For me over here, there's just a lot of other trees. And this one just so happens to be very, very burly and knotty, so I guess for the people that complain that I need a splitting wedge or splitting axe, this would be their glory moment here, because yeah, this thing is pretty hard to split, and the axe is sliding in my hands because my hands are so cold and the handle is cold, so it's just sliding all over the place. I'll go inside to warm up a little bit afterwards. It's so wet that and that thing's been there for it's been outside there, but probably a year, 2 years. See, I was having trouble there with the broader side, but as soon as I hit the side of the axe with the finer blade, it is softer wood, so I just ended up slicing through it. And there is literally ice in the log, so yeah, the finer side does better on here because I slice the fibers up a whole lot easier. It's a lot easier trying to split the fibers instead of using brute force of that was ice, so I just ricocheted literally off the ice. Yeah, it's a lot easier splitting fibers and trying to use brute force to just rip them apart. Alrighty, so that's one done. I'll stack these on my little wood pile, and these will dry up. Maybe they'll be good in a year or two, or maybe I'll just burn them this winter or this summer in my outside fire pit. They're extremely wet on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see this here. I'll try to give you guys a good look, but there's literally cavities inside of here. The tree had damage once upon a time, and this is on the cross section, so yeah, something was maybe burrowing itself in there, and now the entire log is filled with ice, so it keeps in a whole lot of dampness. I don't really like poplar, but whatever. I'll try to split this one, but it is very long, so that's something else. The longer it is, the harder it is to split. The axe has to go through a whole lot of fibers before the wood actually splits, so yeah, it's not always optimal. But this is some semi-dried pine, so it's actually not too bad. Surely making some really nice kindling. So I know there's a lot of people that have different opinions about burning conifers, but I have my own, and for what I do here, it's perfect. So, good old kindling. See the fibers in here. Trying to make it focus here, but see the fibers are super tight, but they are very, very stringy. Even if it's, like I said, semi-dry, it is very stringy. So I still enjoy, for one, splitting these, but also burning conifers. Even if there is resin in them, even if it's wet, I don't really care. For one, these things burn like gas when they're dry. Dry resin, dry wood, these things will burn up like gas. So when it's very, very cold and humid, kind of like a day like today, the humidity is not bad, but you guys get the point. These things will light up by themselves. So you could take a little piece like this, just use a match on the tip, and the entire thing is gonna just engulf itself in flames. So it is like nature's fire starter. Some people don't like them because they really mess up your chimney. I could see how that could be an issue, but for me so far, I'll give you guys a look at what I mean, but it is not, because they make a whole lot of stuck resin. So I think it's called like creosote, or what, I don't know what it's called, but they're really soft, fluffy stuff inside of your chimney that doesn't burn, but it heats up a lot, so that's what causes chimney fires. So pretty much it's not a clean burning wood, and the size of your chimney will get all mucked up, they'll be all dirty. So for those reasons, people don't burn conifers. They prefer hardwood, oak and maple and whatever. But for me, with my little chimney, I have no problem at all. Bring these babies inside. Good news, I was thirsty and I looked in my cellar, and the water is actually a whole lot warmer than it is outside when I put my hands on the water. Yeah, it's actually all liquid, not an ounce of ice. The underneath of the door of the cellar, on the little like 1/2 inch by 3s, the little wood I used, I put some lengthwise, and I believe on the back I added more horizontally to make it a little bit sturdier. But yeah, about probably 30 inches deep, I'd say. 24, 30 inches, and minus 20 at night, and not frozen whatsoever. So that pretty much confirms that if I put cans in there, or beans or nuts or whatever, nothing should happen to them, with the exceptions of raccoons and bears and turkeys. But so finally some good news. It's the little things that count with everything happening in the world right now. A water bottle not freezing is a pretty good accomplishment for me, so yeah, pretty happy. I'll have to stock up soon because I'm running low. But it is some awesome news. The firewood I just cut, the long pine log I cut for the little firewood, I actually just put it and threw 2 pieces in the fire, and it is burning as it should. Like I said, it's not dry, but it's still doing its job extremely well. Quite dark for you guys, but yeah. There's the logs I just put, and they are burning away. They are fizzing, which means that they're still wet. You could hear the sap and the resin evaporating in them. But since it's resin, it lights up like gas. So yeah, let's go outside and find some more firewood. Softwoods like pine light up, but they also burn very quickly, so a mix of both for my taste is a lot better. So I try to get, well, even it's not considered a hardwood, but it's not super soft either, some birch, really depending on how much paper is on it, or I guess you'd say bark for birch, but yeah, paper. It'll pretty much depend how fast it burns for me. Once the paper lights up, it engulfs the whole log, but it'll last a good while, so I try to really kind of save as much as I can. But I've mentioned it before, there is a downed maple by the creek over there on the east side, I believe, of the cabin. A very, very large maple, but it's so dirty, I have trouble getting there. I don't think I'll be able to go, even with my ATV in the summer. I'm done with that for now. I put it away for winter, but my skidoo is next, and I won't be able to turn around and really drive through the trees. I could be able maybe to cut down a few trees to get there, but that's just complicated. I don't really like cutting down trees for no reason. But on the other hand, I would love to harvest it because maple is pretty much my #1 firewood here, apart from the conifers. I'll throw in some conifers, it'll last a good long while, but if I leave and go for a walk and come back, I like the cabin to still be burning, and well, cabin to be burning, the fire to still be burning. Hopefully the cabin doesn't burn. So I'll stick in just a little like 10-inch log of maple, will last a very long while. So I try to keep the maple to spruce pine wood ratio to my taste, so as of now I need more maple. The maple I have was from an old tree that fell pretty close to the cabin, and it's starting to get very dry, so it's starting to get punky. So I'll go take a walk. I'll try to bring you guys along to check out on the other tree, but I have no idea even how I get the firewood back. So on the way to my other maple tree, I just found this tree that I bucked up, but I never really picked it up, so I don't really know why. there's actually a whole lot of good wood in here. So I'll come back and yeah, I'll get my saw, get my axe, and I'll see what I can do. Bring all these, even I could bring just 2-3 lengths to the cabin. It'll help out a whole lot. These things are pretty stuck to the ground. Those two are free. They're frozen in the ground and frozen together, so it's a big heaping mess here. In the summer, you don't see them because there's greenery everywhere, and in the winter you don't see it because there's white stuff everywhere. So there's no way those are coming undone. They actually look like good wood. It looks rather nice. I have super long lengths here. I'll aim the camera over there, and those branches are perfect to cut. There's like 3 to 4 inches in size. It's a perfect size. So there's the winter firewood. I'll bring it in the cabin too, just so it dries up a little bit. I might split 3 or 4 of these little rounds to get some really sturdy kindling. It'll ignite and keep burning for a long while. Time to make a few trips to the cabin. Back at the chopping block. I'll try to split these bad boys here. But yeah, another time where splitting maul would be great. It's actually starting to get pretty dark outside. The sun is already setting. We're pretty late in the afternoon right now. So I'll try to get the maple chopped up, and I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes. Oof. Oh, man. That is a tough one. Man. The center of this one, it was the one close to the trunk. It's actually, there's like a 2-inch center core that's punky, but I don't care because the outside is good. this isn't any building material. It's actually a striped maple that I cut down in my trail over there last year because my skidoo wouldn't fit. But yeah, it is some type of maple, so I'll buck it up and burn it. This is any type, it's a maple, but it's more on the softwood side, I would think. It seems pretty soft. I have no idea what it is. But I think that'll be good for today. I should say tonight because it's actually getting pretty dark. But this maple I was saying before, the heartwood is super nice and dark. It would look great once polished. But yeah, time to stack all these bad boys in the pile, and I'll catch up with you guys after I do that. That's about all she wrote for today. It is getting pretty dark outside. Sun is setting. It's a pleasure again having you guys. Comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It really helps out a whole bunch. And let me know, like always, in the comments if you have questions. I'll try my best to answer them. Let me know what kind of videos you guys would like to see in the future. Likes and comments always help out a whole bunch. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. So, thanks for watching.